All right, welcome back, everybody. All you beautiful people that are tuning in to Comix. This is episode 40. We are the podcast that is burdened with glorious purpose to bring you nothing but shit talking and news. I mean, we could be late with the news. I mean, I don't think anybody really tunes in for the news, but let's be honest, everyone likes it when we start talking shit to each other. So, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you everybody for sharing, liking, commenting, and let's go ahead and introduce everybody who's on the show. What do we got today?
Hello, everybody. This is Luis.
I'm Carmen.
I'm Ash.
And I'm Andres.
All right, and I am Esteban. I am your guys' host this week. I am taking over for episode 40, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Luis for the drink for tonight. Luis?
Right. So for tonight, we have some Knob Creek, keeping it nice and simple with my whiskeys. Knob Creek whiskey, super. It's a little bit more on it's a little punchier, but it's still a very smooth whiskey. It's a very easy drink to quickly pour and enjoy when you're about to record a podcast or just enjoy watching TV.
Or when you forget that it's your alcohol day, so you just have whatever you.
Exactly, and it was already poured. How about that?
Look at the coincidence on that.
What's the whiskey dick ratio on that one? Like, is it giving you like whiskey dick a lot, or is it like less?
I've always heard
like that, or just I don't want to.
I've always heard of the rumored whiskey dick, but I've never. Affected me.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, fucking Spanish to him. My bad, dog.
Hey, man, you don't know. You don't know these things.
You don't know my life.
You don't know his life. Come on. So typically this is the part of the show where we go ahead and touch on some topics, or excuse me, not topics, but comments that anyone has sent in. So if you guys want to be a part of the show, make sure you guys go ahead and drop a comment on our YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever you guys like. If you guys even want to send us an email, We'll go ahead and read your email on the show. So if you want to go ahead and do that, you guys will be part of the show. So Luis, we got any comments this week?
Yes, sir, we do. And we're going to start with some of our YouTube comments. Let's see. So the most recent episode was episode 39. And we have a couple comments from Heavyweight, one of our super fans. Heavyweight, we appreciate you. So episode 39, one of these, I'm going to need some help with you guys because you guys have a better memory than I do to give it a little bit of context. But so this is all on episode 39.
Okay.
And starting with laughing my ass off for 2 weeks, I've made my trainer listen to the podcast and he paid no attention to the show. I had to listen to Gente for 2 weeks, although I could not understand what he was saying, even though I did show interest into it. So that's part one. So, hey, this podcast isn't for everybody. We appreciate you trying to make your trainer listen to us. I mean, tell him to give it another try. Maybe episode 40 is where it's at. It's a nice round number.
Heavyweight should make it part of his review process.
Oh, wait, review process? What do you mean?
Well, because he's a trainer, isn't he?
Yeah.
He trains.
No. He said in this case it was his trainer.
Oh, his trainer.
Yeah, usually he makes his trainee listen. We've heard that on a couple episodes. Yeah.
Okay, that's how I heard it
So
wrong.
keep doing that. Keep abusing your power and make your trainees listen, and then quiz them on the job that you're teaching them, and also on our podcast. That'd be
On
That's
the
perfect.
podcast.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I see that there's nothing wrong with that. I vote that in order to, for him to get familiarized with what you like, since you are his boss and you are training him, let's go ahead and get him focused in on us and listening weekly.
Absolutely. Well, in this case, it was his trainer, and his trainer wasn't really having it. So, but he took a metaphorical bullet for us and started listening to Spanish music. So as a trade-off.
Because he was listening to Chente?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and take that bullet since I'm constantly cursing on a show. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's okay. I think we all curse every once in a while. I mean, Is it a possibility that if we threw in a little bit of Chente at the end, that his trainer would probably start
Will we
listening to
hook
us?
him in?
Is that what we got to do? Heavyweight, please let us know if we throw in some Chente in there for him. At the very beginning, just to
As
kind
it
of
is,
draw him in.
I already get drunk, so all I have to do is cry at the end.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Just do it on air instead of when you're off camera, like you always do.
Moving on along, we got.
I do agree that Heavyweight should climb the ladder, become his trainer, and then just climb up the ladder for us so that he can.
Don't do crime.
Don't do crime.
Or if you do, cut us in on it.
We want to cut.
We'll Robin Hood it though. Go to people who need it.
Hey, I'm poor. You just throw that shit my way.
Sorry,
all right, so the next piece of it says he's saying that we were talking about the He-Man animated series that's coming out on Netflix, and that's spearheaded by Kevin Smith. It says, I'm so excited about the Netflix He-Man animated series. Mark Hamill will voice Skeletor! ! And I don't know if we covered that he was
I don't believe we did.
Skeletor. I don't think so either. But that's even more awesome news. Like it being like a nice little bow on the project. Fucking Mark Hamill. And yeah, we'll see. And Kevin Smith, I would imagine that's a cartoon that he grew up with, so he has to have love for it. So I'd be curious to see what kind of ending he gives it, It
would also be cool if the whole DC not vibing with his stuff. I hope it's another thing that takes off. That's like, again, he has to solidify himself. Like Kevin Smith was awesome. They gave him fucking the Flash and he did amazing with it.
It's, from what I've heard a lot of on his podcast and stuff, he doesn't do the politics stuff, so he does pretty much what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. Like when he did the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, wasn't the best movie, but I enjoyed it. It has its little funny nods and stuff, but he pretty much funded it himself. Like, and just like, well, you guys won't help me make this movie, I'm gonna fucking do it myself. So we don't know if that ruffles feathers. We don't know, considering he is this force that just essentially he has the star power to be able to do what he wants. I don't know.
Yeah, very, very true.
Moving, and this is the piece that I'm not too positive about. Heavyweight saying, "Hey Ash, my address is 123 Sesame Street. I'll keep the light on."
I got a bat, and I was gonna go. We were gonna fuck him up. It was more.
And then you're like, that's right, because then you said, "I'm not really gonna fuck him up." He's like 6'7", right?
Yeah,
something like that. Okay, I do remember that. Oh, see, he left that opening for you. Lights on for you. We love you, Heavyweight, and the only person that wants to fight you is Ash. Okay.
That's true. I'd pay money for that.
All right, so moving on along to still on episode 39, Melissa Morales. If you could choose what Disney / Marvel releases next on Disney, what would it be besides anything that's already projected to release? So if you could choose what Disney / Marvel release next on Disney Plus, what would it be besides anything that's already planned? Do you guys have any thoughts off the top of your head? You know what I would love?
Okay.
I would love a direct to Disney Plus sequel of Emperor's New Groove. And I know they made Krunk's New Groove, but Emperor's New Groove, David Spade voiced the llama.
Right.
Really great fucking cartoon. I would like to see it, just where that goes.
Okay.
You know how they've been doing Marvel movie universe over to Disney Plus, and they get like a miniseries or whatever we want to be calling them.
Yeah.
Right.
What if that's how we introduce Gambit into the movie world, and we do like 6 episodes, and Gambit, like the end of Gambit, the series, is the beginning of either X-Men something or any side X-Force or whatever. You know what I mean? Like something like that.
And just call it what, Cajun?
No,
that's very racial. The Cajun.
The Raging Cajun.
Raging Cajun. Oh yeah. Actually sounds like a pretty badass title, to be honest.
Oh, and I'm the bad guy?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
I'm kidding.
Deck of cards. It could be called anything.
Ooh,
that would be my choice.
Royal Flush.
Yes.
Goes on.
Royal Flush sounds like you're taking a shit.
Well, isn't Royal Flush the name of a gang in DC?
Yeah, the Royal Flush gang. The Batman Beyond gang. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's horrible. See.
I probably would love to see either a Disney Plus series or a Disney Plus movie. I want to see the continuation of The Rocketeer. That's what I want to see.
I should have seen that coming. Yeah. Who would be the lead actor?
Well, we got to bring back what's his name? It's not Bruce Campbell. I forget his name. His last name's Campbell. I can't remember his first name. I'd bring him back. But as far as it'd be more of like a passing the torch type thing. And it's funny because it's like I say that, and there's a Disney, Nick Jr. It's a Disney Junior show. It's called The Rocketeer, and it's supposed to be based off of his granddaughter. So it's like they're kind of like continuing it that way.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of those episodes because I feel really weird watching a Disney Junior cartoon by myself. So.
You're trying to tell your boys to gather around. They want no part in it. You just watching it.
No, Dad. Put on something else.
We want to throw the football around.
No,
let's watch The Rocketeer on Disney Junior.
Oh. Yeah, but I'd pick The Rocketeer, like a continuation of The Rocketeer.
Dig it. Carmen, what you got?
I would like to see maybe like a short series on Honey Lemon, the character from Big Hero 6, and she was a scientist. She was really quirky and she had all the inventions. I thought that her character having a show and having to showcase like what innovative things you could do with science, I don't know. I think that would be a cool idea, especially guiding women in the science or STEM, field.
Yeah,
I think that's needed. So I think that'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Andres, what you got?
Daredevil.
What do you mean?
Just bring back.
No, I didn't say I said
Oh, you're like meh. Like I'm like, oh, come on, dude.
No.
All of a sudden, we're shitting on Charlie Cox.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, I'd love to see another one.
Fuck yeah, dude. Daredevil. And then she had a second piece question on episode 39, directed to me. Luis, what is your favorite anime that you recommend? That is a loaded question because that answer would actually vary depending if it's somebody that's into anime versus someone that's not. For sake of making it as simple as possible, I would say there's an anime called My Hero Academia. And that is probably a very good entry point into anime. And it's also just a very good story. Brief thing about what, like the way anime works in Japan. So the way American comics work, where a comic book line will go well and then they make an animation or movie, and they sometimes get inspiration off of the book, the like comic book line that is in American comics. Anime is very different in the sense that manga, whatever takes off, manga is the comic book version of the anime, and if it takes off, it gets purchased, and they do page for page is what the anime is. So the manga and the anime are identical. It's just one of them's on page and the other one's on animation, but it's the same story. So any anime that gets published is a Japanese comic book that got some sort of recognition and went on. My Hero Academia specifically, that's like, we'll call it the Marvel of the anime world. It's called Shonen Jump. It's a really big, it's one of the biggest comic book companies in Japan. But My Hero Academia is essentially a Japanese version of X-Men. It's a world where mutants exist. We'll call them mutants they used a different term, but just to make it as less confusing as possible. It's a world where mutants exist, and at puberty, the majority of people will have a mutant ability, and it revolves around a school, like this kid in particular, that goes to we'll call it the fucking Harvard of mutant schools, because there's a bunch of rival schools. He goes to the Harvard of mutant schools, and he's trying to be a certified hero. So you get like licenses to be a hero and stuff like that. So it's him learning how to develop his powers, and you see his classmates, and trouble ensues. So it's a very you feel right at home if you're an X-Men fan. It's like you see like, oh, this is the Toad character of X-Men. Oh, this is the Flash type character. So you can make your little similarities. And that was one of the first anime that I introduced to my girlfriend, and like she loved it. Like that anime has brought her to tears. She's bought little figurines that we have around the house that I did not purchase. She purchased because she's so in love with certain characters. Like, so she's super invested in it. So if anime is not for everybody, but if you're looking to give it a try, it's on Hulu. I'd say that'd be a good place to jump in and see what they got going on over there in Japan.
Very cool.
All right, moving on. We got, and then we got the last comments on there was actually a video that was just released. Most recent video released was the new Comix Unbox. Every month, Ash has subscribed to Loot Crate, and so to our benefit, what he does is he records the unboxing of it and does a short review on all the items that were received. And he actually has a special guest this week, the comment that I just read, Melissa Morales. So if you're, she reviewed the items with Ash, and so on one of the comments, Ash did a little sketch, which we will not explain. You will have to watch it. It's available on our YouTube. Heavyweight has the crying emoji. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of them, and then he says, "Love the hair," and then another 5 laughing, crying emojis. So, and yeah, and that's it. So that is the end of our comments. At the beginning of every episode, we like to include comments of whatever feedback you guys are giving us. So this is your opportunity to be a part of the show. Please comment on our Instagram, YouTube, whether it's feedback on something you agree with, disagree with, or you just want to weigh in your opinion. Please let us know. We'll read on the next episode. And with that, I will throw it right back to you, sir.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. So yeah, again, everyone, comment, share our videos, so we can go ahead and we can end up reading your comments on the next episode. So jumping right in, we've got a few things on the docket today. But before we go ahead and get started, I know Luis gave us homework, gave me homework to go ahead and recommend something to one of our co-hosts to go ahead and tune in and watch. So try not to make it super difficult. There's a few things that I want to recommend, but there's a few that are going to end up costing some money. So I don't know if you guys are down for something like this, but let's see, Carmen.
Mm-hmm.
So did you ever watch the TV show Jericho?
No.
Okay. That. Huh? No, not the Walls of Jericho.
Skeet Ulrich.
Yes. Yeah.
It was
Skeet Ulrich. Yeah. So there's actually 2 TV shows that I wanted to go ahead and recommend. One of them is Lights Out, but I've looked and there's nowhere on.
That's the FX show with the boxer.
Yes. That's the FX show with the boxer. His name's Holt.
Yeah.
I forget his last name. That's a really good show, a fantastic show. It was canceled after one season. That one, you can find it. I think it's on Apple TV. You can buy the whole season for like $10. It's only like 10 or 13 episodes. There's that one. The other one is the Black Donnellys. That one was actually pretty dope too. That one was on NBC. That one,
yeah, a good show.
That one was a great show. That one I would also recommend, but again, it's one of those that's going to cost you money to go ahead and watch. So the next one,
I was like, what are you doing, man? Like, give the girl something that's like she can find. Like,
No,
what
I
if she
know,
watches the first
It's
episode
okay.
and she's like, this thing sucks. I just spent $15. Looks like I'm
No,
right.
I know. But that's why I'm going. Your homework for next time is Jericho. Okay, it's
Got
on
it.
Netflix. It's on Netflix. It's a really, really good show. It was only on for 2 seasons. So I would say just watch the first 2 episodes. You know, hopefully that'll get you hooked. I was hooked after the first episode. So watch those. Watch the first 2 episodes. And then tell us what you think next episode. Huh?
Okay, will do.
Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing every episode moving forward. It was Luis's idea to go ahead and recommend something that we wouldn't typically watch, right? That you would recommend to
Just a
someone else,
recommendation
if I'm
that
not
you
mistaken.
have, that you have, and you pick one of the other co-hosts and say, hey, check this out and give us a short review on it. And so you listening, if you want to give that a try, Carmen has to watch these 2 episodes of Jericho. She's the only one obligated. None of us are. But people listening at home, if you want to check out first 2 episodes of Jericho, and you can check her, make sure that whatever she reports on, that she's telling the truth.
Check her.
Facts.
Ash.
What if we make episode
Check her.
50
So yeah. What if we what?
make episode 50 our first live show? Not live, but all together.
We could probably discuss that off mic.
Oh, which one did you? Okay, sorry, my bad. Everything.
No. It's just there's a lot of moving parts to it. So for people listening, that is something that we want to do. We want to. We're looking some other things to
Something that we can
lively
discuss
up the show.
prior to the show or after the episode.
But there's a lot of moving parts to it. That's all.
He said 40, so that's what reminded me. Like at 50 it should be like a good. I don't know what this movement is, but I'm saying at 50, maybe that's nice.
This is good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a nice milestone.
Totally.
I dig it.
Being said, recently,
I could be, oh, $20.
All
Or
right.
not. It doesn't have to be 50. Don't quit.
And moving on along. But yeah, so Carmen, Jericho, 2 episodes. So you're gonna check that shit.
Have you guys watched any other episodes besides Esteban? Have any of you?
No.
No.
There was a part in the truck where he got stopped, but I didn't watch the episode. It was like on Channel 5.
All I remember was that people liked it and they got mad that it got pulled out, so they were sending either walnuts or almonds or acorns to CVS. They flooded them. That's all I remember. So there's a bunch of like diehard fans. So
Was it like the Firefly situation?
yeah, something similar.
Oh. Okay.
Well, with that, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what
the hype's about?
what they were angry. Yeah.
From what I remember, it's kind of like a sci-fi tilt to the show.
Okay. I'm into sci-fi. Sorry.
All right.
It's right up my alley.
We are looking forward to a little description of what's going on in Jericho. And so moving to the first category, we got Steven Dorff. Looks like he was blasting Disney Plus, or he was blasting Disney. And I didn't even know Steven Dorff was still working outside of him being Frost and Blade.
Yeah.
Or
He was
Dwarf.
blasting specifically Black Widow.
Black Widow.
and
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson.
That he was embarrassed for Scarlett Johansson is what he was saying. So his actual, and I'm gonna read his quote off of it, and then I'm gonna throw it to you first, okay, Andres? So Steven Dorff is despairing of it all, and then here's a direct quote: "This year's Oscars are the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen." He cracks, though puffs an e-cigarette. My business is becoming a big. This is a direct off of the interview, guys. I'm sorry, it's not me.
I didn't read the article, but that's so fitting.
It is.
Yeah,
My
didn't he do the blue cigarettes or the blue whatever the fuck?
Yeah. My business is becoming a big game show. You have actors that don't have a clue what they're doing. You have filmmakers that don't have a clue what they're doing. We're all in these little boxes on these little streamers, TV, film. It's all one big clusterfuck of content. So, before I give my opinion, what do you think, Andres?
I don't know. It's just shit to get his name out. We all know he came out in Blade. Who gives a fuck about that? He wasn't the best fucking actor to begin with. He did. Speaking of him, you not knowing that he's acted recently, he came out in the last season of True Detective, and it wasn't his. He was pretty good in it. So I will give him that. But it's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. You're nobody.
Yeah.
So what do I care? The movie. He's talking shit about Black Widow. It looks good. I'll be seeing it shortly, whenever this drops. So, whatever. You're Steven Dorff.
What did you think, Carmen?
I mean, first of all, I didn't even remember him in Blade, and I have seen Blade, so I didn't know who he was. And his comment about the industry is like, are you mad because you're not getting projects, or because people that are actually working on the Marvel projects are getting other projects besides Marvel, and you want to shit talk on them, but they're still working, in which you are kind of, but not anything that you are really proud of yourself of.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed like it came from a very negative place, and like I just disregard it. I'm not about being negative to people, so yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah, he just kind of came off like a whiny bitch, kind of, right? Like, dude, just sit down. I'm sorry. Ash, thoughts on it?
It's not like you went to Brad Pitt or Idris Elba, or like you went to Steven Dorff about. Actually, he just brought up Black Widow. Like I don't want to be in Black Widow, and then it just escalated from there, right? It's not like but Deacon Frost is fucking the shit. SFW, I fucking love it. There was another one called CC Demented that I liked, but I wasn't my type of movie. But I liked, but it wasn't my type. It's not a great movie. Just it was what it was. And then there's fucking Judgment Night. Judgment Night is the shit, and he was in it. I don't know. I think I've already said this. Once Morgan Freeman and one Anthony Hopkins and fucking every other name that's actor's actor is doing one of these, Steven Dorff is not on that level. So it's super weird that, because he even said like, I'm gonna find the next Kubrick and I'm gonna be in his movie. And it's like, okay, cool. So don't be in the movie that's gonna make $500 million because you're gonna be in not even Kubrick's movie. You're gonna be in the next Kubrick's movie that 10 people are gonna see.
The thing is that even if that's his point, like that Stanley Kubrick following in his footsteps is not going to choose him to be in his fucking film.
That was said on the
Everybody's going
Twitter.
to be in consideration.
He says it as if he's being sought after. Like, I'm not gonna do that film. That's a like. Do you guys remember at the very beginning of the comic book revolution, where all these different properties were being purchased? I know Jason Statham for a fact that he said he doesn't want to be in a movie, superhero movie, because that it's like all CGI and there's no practical effects, and so he was like shunning it. But one of the other people that was shunning it was also Sylvester Stallone, and now how that's moved. But now, to be fair, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, comic book movies were different. It's like they're being taken seriously. Like they are what they've become. But 15 years ago, it was hokey. It was just, yeah. I don't know. I just find it funny that they take these hard stances and then they're in it. It's like, hey, if the check clears, like, guess who's gonna be fucking parading as the new Marvel villain? Stephen Dorff.
And then it wasn't even like, I may have been in Blade, but I love the story. But this, like, you're talking shit while already have been in a fucking Marvel movie. You know what I mean? Like, there was no whatever. And then you're gonna attack Scarlett Johansson. Like, there was no, you had no leg to stand on. There's nothing.
Especially being in the business yourself,
right,
and knowing that you're a product of the engine that you're in, and you're like making it. You're, as an actor, you're having to, whatever the director's vision is, you have to give your best interpretation of that. And so he knows that as an actor. So for him to shit on Scarlett Johansson, it's like, what are you doing, man?
And he was even saying anybody that was in that movie, the guy from Stranger Things, the cop, I never remember his name. The cop was in it. There's fucking girl from Midsummer. I mean, like, you didn't just shit on her. You shit on, like, everybody that was in the movie. And then it escalates to everybody that's in Marvel. And then it's like, it's not like they only come out with Marvel. They're gonna come out with other movies.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you fuck yourself.
Yeah. All right. And we'll move it on along regarding some Star Wars anime coming over to Disney Plus. Do you want to talk to us a little bit more about that, Esteban?
Yeah, sorry. Internet's acting a little fuzzy today. So I apologize for all that. Yeah, so it looks like there's going to be some new Star Wars anime that's going to be showing up on Disney Plus. That's coming in soon. Looks like there are a lot of little fan clips or just little clips, anime clips that are coming on. There's one that actually comes to mind. I'm not sure if anybody has seen it. It's actually one that was shown to me. So it's it looks very cool. It's very like intro-y for the TIE fighters. When you're seeing them jumping into, like, the pilots jumping into their TIE fighters. So it looks pretty cool. The one that I saw looks pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about, taking a look at seeing what Disney Plus is going to go ahead and drop on as far as any Star Wars anime that's going to be coming out soon. So what about you? Yeah, what about you, Ash? What do you think?
Dude, He-Man was like the shit. He-Man and Thundercats, there was an era where they sold out of He-Man and you could only get, what was his prince name? Prince something, right? Prince Goldilocks, whatever his name was. They only had that, or they only had Man-at-Arms, or they only had fucking Man-Beast. But they never had He-Man because they always sold out. I understand what you're saying. I'm excited for it. I'm going to fucking watch it. I'm just saying more like my allegiance to that is like embedded in me.
Okay, my bad, because you threw me off completely, dude, because we started with Star Wars and you went into He-Man and Thundercats. I got lost.
Oh, I don't know how we got He-Man. What did we say about He-Man?
Nothing.
Nothing yet.
2 shots.
Nothing yet. He asked about the Star Wars anime that's coming out.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
Okay, here's one thing. Let me speak. If I can take the floor, please. If I can take the floor. If I can please take the floor. He immediately went to He-Man, and my instinct was I need to interrupt him because he didn't hear the question. But in doing 40 episodes with this man, I have learned that he never goes straight to his point. He goes around it, and then at the end, it makes sense. And so,
It does?
sometimes he does. Sometimes he does. And so sometimes the point comes home. And so I didn't want to interrupt it because then if I'm like, we're talking about Star Wars, and then he'll give me that look, he's like,
Yeah.
and then he'll just finish his point, and then it somehow comes back to it. And so I was waiting for him to articulate it in a way to bring it back. And I'm like, he's not bringing it back.
I knew it wasn't going when he kept repeating He-Man over and over. I was like, this.
Star Wars, it was good. I like the little thing that's like
Shit.
awesome.
I had no idea where he was going with that. I'm like, he's gonna tie it together. Somehow he's gonna tie it together. He's gonna.
But isn't that beautiful though that we have faith in this man after 40 fucking episodes of his crazy fucking rants? Where like he's got a point. It's in there. It's in there. And then
somewhere.
we were gonna like Ash decipher that shit and then retell it to the listener. Be like, this is what he's saying. Oh, you're saying this. He's like, exactly. And yeah.
I fucking really heard He-Man, but Star Wars.
It's like
We're still gonna shit on me. Look at it.
It was just so great because you answered it like such a boss. Like there was no doubt in your fucking mind that this is the answer that everyone wants to hear. Like you were just so about it. Like I was like, dude, own that shit. All right.
it's He-Man. Yeah, we're talking about He-Man. Yeah.
You know what? I want to talk about He-Man now. Fuck. Sorry. No, I'm just kidding. Back to you, Esteban. Sorry.
I don't know. No, well, back to me. I don't know if they're gonna do it the way they did.
Fuck, my bad.
I don't know if they're gonna do.
No, back to me.
No, I don't know if they're gonna. Do what's the the anime version of Batman that kind of nobody liked?
Year one, right? Was it year one?
No. Well, the one with Joker and there was the robots at the end.
Oh no, that wasn't an. Oh wait, yeah, it was anime. Batman Ninja.
Was it Ninja? Okay.
Yeah.
Like
big mechs at the end.
They don't try to make it. When I say they, I mean the creators. Make it their own, and like this is how Luke acts here on this earth, or whatever they're gonna try to do. But like, it'd be cool if it was the way they even do Star Wars. I love that everything that comes out is always like, hey, this is what Luke and Leia were doing that one time when like Han Solo was doing this, Han Solo and Chewie were doing this. Like, this is that one little area. If you ever wondered, like, they've always been filling in the blanks. So that'd be cool if the anime did that.
Or even if they use original characters, but like that happened in the same era, like where they mention them, kind of like I think Andres mentioned this. I want to say a good like 5-10 episodes now, comparing it to the Animatrix, how that existed, but it wasn't like Neo, but it was shit that was happening, and they mentioned the events of the one or whatever. But that'd be cool.
Yeah. No, that would be. I mean, I'm excited. I don't know how many episodes are going to be published or released on Disney Plus, but I'm excited to see all those animes, those Star Wars animes. What about you, Andres?
It's Star Wars, yes. And to Steven Dwarf's point, oh my God, so much content. What am I gonna do? Stupid bitch. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I think he's just mad because nobody's calling him for any Marvel stuff. He's a forgotten Marvel alumni, so no one's about it. So
yeah,
whatever. Carmen, what about you?
I'm excited for it. Like Andres said, it's Star Wars, so what is there to be excited about? There's 9 episodes that have a title so far. So that's, I mean, just looking at the titles, I'm excited for them because one of them is called The Ninth Jedi. So I just, like the possibilities of that, or who or how they're going to do that is cool. But just looking at some of the titles of those episodes that have been released, it's just exciting. Again, like the Bad Batch and the other Star Wars stuff that has been coming out lately has not let us down. So I'm excited for it.
I still need to get into the Bad Batch. I haven't watched that yet.
Oh,
As you should.
yeah,
as
you
you should.
do.
I hear
They
good things.
revealed
What do
some
you guys-
bombs. Yeah. No, don't make that face, Ash.
No, it does. I just caught up with it because I did like 3 or 4 episodes back to back. I fucking love them. I even during one of the episodes I even texted Andreas that Omega sounds like Dakota Kai, the wrestler. So I did watch it. That's all I'm trying to. Yep, dead silence. For sure.
I don't know who that is. I would love to
Yeah.
give you feedback. I'm sorry.
It's just a wrestler who's also from. Is it South Africa or is it South Australia? It's something, right? Like there's. I'm just fucking myself over on this one, but
I can't help you. I'm sorry.
She's from South Africa. I feel like she's from South Africa, and she has the same inflections and accent as Omega. So I hear Dakota Kai when I hear Omega. Back to you, Esteban.
Right on. Very cool. Okay, so this next topic ended up coming out because there was an interview with one of the producers from the upcoming Suicide Squad movie. And just real quick, don't want to really like dive too into it because it's the producer's opinion in regards to a possible crossover. So is this going to be something that, and I'm going to go, and this is going to be a general yes or no question, and this is posed to our audience as well, either yes or no, would you guys want to see something like this? The producer of the Suicide Squad was asked, do you see a potential of a Marvel/DC crossover event as like a franchise movie, series of movies? And to the producer said anything's possible. It's not, we're not shying away from it. If it does happen, it happens, something like that. Now, how do you guys feel about something like that? A possible DC/Marvel crossover? Do you think is it too early for something like that? B, should we just leave it alone and not even tamper with something like that? And C, if we do something like that, do you think that any Marvel alumni from Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, do you think that they would come back and reprise their role in something like this? Luis.
I don't think that they would come back to reprise their role. But I also see a possibility of them reusing old footage, like to make it seem as if they were there or whatever. This is the second time this conversation has come up. There was an interview. I want to say it was a Marvel. Actually, it might have been Kevin Feige, but I'm not gonna. Don't quote me on that. But it was a conversation that happened a couple weeks ago about that. Essentially the same thing, that they've never shunned away from a Marvel DC crossover. Now, for those of you who don't know, there were several books that were published, the Marvel DC crossovers, which are very rare now due to the company that printed the books. So they're obviously Marvel and DC are rival companies, and so they did have a lot of crossovers. Well, not a lot. They had, I think it was 3 that I remember. The one that I read was in the 80s, and Batman goes up against Captain America, Flash goes up against Quicksilver, Storm and Thor are going at it. So it's like it's interesting to see these other worlds, and essentially there's a time rift in kind of like the Flashpoint paradox. and it brings these two worlds together. And so they start as competing forces, but then they work together for the greater evil. A very typical like crossover comic where it's like us versus them, and that's the cover, and that's the reason you buy it. But then the ending of it is like we're all friends and we're equal, you know, like so it was, there weren't a lot of definitive winners in the fights. The closest thing to a definitive winner was two that I remember in that book that I read. It was the late 80s one. It was the last one that they did. Was Quicksilver admitted that the Speed Force was faster than him, but then he was able to figure out how to tap into the Speed Force. But like at his first bout with Flash was faster, and he's like, I just need to learn how to tap into the Speed Force. And so then it inspired him to learn that he can go faster. So that was a cool little thing. And then Captain America versus Batman, while they're fighting, early into their fight, Bruce already had like the next several bouts figured out in his head, and so he stops the fight mid-fight. He's like, we seem on paper, we look like we're running even, but I'm getting tired at a faster rate than you. So if this fight continues in about 30 minutes, you will win. So let's stop now and let's work on this. And like, then kind of seeing like a big picture, and Captain America agreed, and then they worked together. So it was like, so he admitted defeat to Captain America, Quicksilver admitted defeat to Flash, like, but it was a very like, but we're all still friends, like type of way to do it. And I'm sorry, that's dragging on a little bit long. So in short, I would be open to it, considering it's been done in comics before, even if it doesn't follow those books. I don't think it's like breaking the gospel or anything. I'm like, oh no, it's been done, and it's always fun, especially for us nerds. Back to you, Esteban.
Right on. Very cool. Carmen, do you think we're ready for something like that?
No, that was going to be my answer to your A. I was going to be like, not right now. I think that DC needs to like really work on their storytelling. I think that's their biggest flaw, is storytelling, and build up their characters, because I know the characters have a big following and most people know generally the characters, but I don't think successfully in films it has been done. Some characters have been done justice, but not all. And I don't think that they're on par with Marvel. I do think that obviously we would want to see that at some point, but just not right now. Probably like later on. I don't see why not. It'd be cool. I'd watch it for sure.
Right on. Very cool. All right. What about you, Andres?
No to everything, because it doesn't make sense for Marvel to want to make movies with DC when DC doesn't really have a universe. They have movies they're putting out, but they don't have anything cohesive going on over there. And Marvel's so far ahead, why would they want to give them any of their credence? Like, doesn't make sense for Marvel to want to be involved.
Very cool. Very cool. Ash? You seem like you got something to get off your chest. What's up?
It's gonna be like the Fast and the Furious movies have been done too much.
We are family.
I am so sick of those memes, man.
I'm not. Give me more.
I am so sick of those memes.
Fuck, I was just gonna talk about the Fast 9 or F9. DC is too desperate to establish something. So even if they were to discuss, like, okay, your guys, I almost see it like Vince McMahon trying to talk to Tony Khan about a crossover. It could never happen because Vince will always want all my guys to fucking win. And Tony Khan would be a little bit more acceptable. Like, how about these guys? Every guy loses, but John Cena. All of my guys lose, but John Cena loses. And Vince would still be like, fuck that. Like, and that's kind of the thing that's happening with TNA and AEW, which again, it's funny because now I'm bringing up different shit. It's so hard because DC movies are lagging and not where they should be. So if Marvel even were to reach out and with an outstretched hand, I don't feel like DC was like, bring us up to you. They would still be like, well, Batman should obviously beat Wolverine. Like, there would be no working together. It would just be like, this is our world, this is your world, like, and we need to look a lot better than you. Even though you're pulling us up, like, we still need to. There's no humbleness to that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Even like when Luis was saying, like, okay, Quicksilver loses, but now he can tap into Speed Force. Like, that was probably the little tit for tat thing. You know what I mean? So, and with the movie, Jesus, if you don't even have your shit together for your own shit, like, imagine, okay, now we're giving you guys multiverse Batman, and now which Batman goes to fucking fight Cyclops? Like, no, let's not do this. Let's not do any of that.
All right. Well, I mean, I think that's the general consensus right now, is that we're not ready for something like this, nor do we want something like this right now. But what is everybody? We want to hear what everybody else thinks. Is this something that you guys want to see in the future? Is there a possibility of maybe something to see 5, 10, 15 years down the road? Let us know in the comments, and then we'll most likely end up reading your guys' responses next episode.
Maybe that's just the overall crossover, just Gambit and give me a DC guy. Gambit and Blue Beetle hang out one day. You know what I mean? Like, maybe not a big crossover, just a little. They're in the same bar for 10 minutes and they take out. You know what I mean? Like a little.
I think that would feel more uncomfortable.
But they don't say anything. Like, they're just elbow to elbow, just at the same bar, but they don't even talk to each other.
That would bother me though. Like, if I saw that in a movie, I'd be like, they're not even in the same universe. Like, it would for me, it would have to be a big thing to like, oh, the universe is split, and that's why this crazy thing, you know, like, or at least in my brain, like, there was a like a meme that somebody sent me of like these bootleg toys, and it was like Superman, Spider-Man, and Shrek. And Shrek didn't bother me in there, which was funny because they were the Do Good Justice or something. It was like a bootleg toy. But it was like, what made me physically unwell was seeing Superman and Spider-Man on the same team. Like, just because like my brain. How dare they? I realize how dumb that sounds, but it's like I can't put that together. Or like, same if you see like at a kid's birthday party and it's like someone's dressed as Spider-Man, someone's dressed as Batman. It's like they should
the sense of goodness. The
League of Goodness the sense of good. Yeah, the League of Sense of Goodness or something. Name ever. It was Lightning McQueen, Superman. Yeah. Lightning McQueen, a little toy car, Lightning McQueen, but he was blue. Hey,
stop killing that motherfucker. The sense of goodness is here. Like, no. Yeah.
Superman, Spider-Man, and Shrek. Like, why the fuck is Shrek there, dude? Oh, Jesus. Anyway. Yeah.
Carmen, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, what if it was done in the style of the What If series? What if it's done in that kind of way? Because, you know, like, it's not really bringing both together, but it's just like, hey, what if this happened? I think that would be a good way to approach it if they wanted to do it now. Do we want it now? Probably no, or maybe if
what if?
Exactly. But I mean, yeah, I would see it that way. Would be the only way that it would work right now. Because as we covered,
yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. Speaking of What If, did you guys see that they ended up dropping the release date for What If?
Yeah.
August 11th.
August 11th.
Ooh, what you love. I'm stoked for that. I really am. I really, really am. I'm excited for that one. I think the first episode that they're going to drop is the Peggy Carter one. That's going to be the very first one. And then the next one is, I believe, that the Black Panther one. That's the second one. So that's going to be really cool. I'm excited for that. So yeah, there's your.
But was it Killmonger saving Tony Stark?
Yes, in the trailer. Yeah. So that seems pretty cool. And I think it's, I mean, with this Marvel, that with everything that's going on with Marvel right now and the what if, for a fact Funko ended up jumping on that, and there is going to be a massive Funko line that's going to be released for the what ifs. So if you guys are Funko collectors, I saw some of the release photos for some of these Funko figures, and I'm not gonna lie, the Peggy Carter one looks actually pretty dope. There's two of them. There's two Peggy Carter ones. I think one's an Amazon exclusive, and I think the other one is just the general one. There's a Doctor Strange one. There's a Killmonger one. The Killmonger one looks dope. It really does, because I believe he's in the armor, the Black Panther armor, and he's holding Ultron's head. That looks dope. That one looks really, really cool.
Oh.
Yeah, that one looks really, really cool. The other one that I'm really excited for that series is the zombie one. The Marvel zombie one.
I know, that one looks badass.
Yeah, that one looks really cool.
And especially the Funkos that would come along with that, those are gonna be cool.
Yeah, those are gonna be really, really cool. Really, 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 really cool. All right, so shifting gears from Marvel, jumping over to DC, the Batgirl show, the HBO Max show that's going to be exclusive for Batgirl. They're actually going to end up recasting J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon. How do you guys feel about this?
It makes sense, but it bums me out. I wanted to see J.K. Simmons was so excited to be Gordon, and so I was looking forward to seeing what that would be. And of course, I was excited before Justice League became what it was, and then everything else that happened. But yeah,
who would you cast?
That's a difficult question, though, because even when what's his name in the Dark Knight series,
Gary Oldman,
I didn't know I wanted him as Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah,
and within minutes of seeing him on screen, I'm like, fuck yes, that's Commissioner Gordon. Like, it just felt, it was such a great performance. So it'd be opening it to another Commissioner Gordon. Like even the dude from Westworld in the new Robert Pattinson one, I'm like, I didn't know I wanted him as Commissioner Gordon. Like, but if you were to just tell me on paper, this is Commissioner Gordon, like, I can't see it, you know? And we've talked about this before. It's like, the beautiful thing about a good actor is that they can bring a role to life, right? And Heath Ledger, I think, proved the world wrong when he was cast as Joker, and he blew everyone away of just how great he was. And then on a much less scale, on a much lower scale, Affleck, I think, impressed a lot of people with his portrayal of Batman. You know, a lot of people were, I among them, was not happy with the casting of it. So whoever ends up getting that role knows the weight on it, and I would imagine that they have respect for it to be able to. I mean, I've been wrong before, but that's my sentiment right now.
Okay, Ash, who would you cast as the new Commissioner Gordon in the Batgirls show?
I honestly don't know. Because if you're going like, are we going with like Dick Jim Gordon, like that was almost like not Harvey Dent, or almost like a like you want to stop Batman before he earns your respect, Batman, or are we already to the lighthearted, I have your back, Batman, where like, no, that wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, it depends.
It's gonna be Jim Gordon. I am your father, Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
So it would be that one.
So the reason Barbara puts on the mantle is because her dad's not coming home. Because he's busy fighting crime, but he is working with Batman, and so she gains respect for Batman. So she becomes Batgirl, not unsanctioned by him, by the way. She's doing this shit on her own. So at that point, he is working with Batman. So it would be a seasoned. We'll say that seasoned cop. He's seen some shit. Who do you cast?
Who I would love, minus any controversy, Mel Gibson.
I can see that.
Mel Gibson with fucking with his like I'm an actor's actor version of him today. Like I can't fuck up my shit, Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And Mel Gibson has like the Lethal Weapon Mel Gibson, but he also has the lightheartedness of like what women want, or like where he cares about his daughter, but he's also a douchebag. Like I think he could just play that very well. And a Mel Gibson that doesn't have to be there every day because it's really about Batgirl, he could fucking make that shit shine.
Right on. Carmen?
I don't know who I would recast. Maybe. Oh my God, I don't know the actor's name, but the guy from Breaking Bad.
Bryan Cranston?
Yeah. Especially to portray that character with Batgirl, or I would think he would do well. I mean, will it happen? I don't know, but that would be nice.
Oh my God.
That's actually some killer casting.
I would love to see Bryan Cranston in that role. Holy shit.
It would have to be primarily Jim Gordon. Bryan Cranston, I mean, not that he would, but like if you have Bryan Cranston, that would overshadow the Batgirl that you got. Like unless you got a name.
Well, there would have to be a lot of scenes of like them having dinner. Like, how was your day? Like, you know, whatever. And so I would imagine he would be a very strong supporting character in her story.
And
because
they would give Bryan Cranston like a weakness that would be amazing.
Oh my God, that would be so. Why would you say that, Carmen? Why would you pick such a good fan cast? Because now I'm upset that probably won't happen.
That won't happen.
Hey, that's fantastic casting.
That's
it
fucking
really is
killer casting. Yeah.
We should start that
I've been watching
hashtag
Breaking
Cranston for
Bad
Gordon.
episodes in the background. That's why I thought of him.
They would
what in the background?
Yeah.
Breaking
Bad at work. Like it's
got it.
playing in the background while I'm working. Probably not what I should be doing, but who cares?
It's all good. What about you, Andres? Who would you cast?
So I have a couple, and they wouldn't be in it because one's a retired actor and he's too big.
Stephen Dorff.
As I was saying, one's a retired actor who's too big for the role, and the other one is I think still too big.
Sean Connery passed away, fool.
I was gonna say Daniel Day-Lewis would be pretty awesome.
Ooh.
And then one more reasonable, but it still won't happen, would be Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And Bruce Willis would be like, hey, we only need you for like 3 episodes. All right, cool. But Daniel Day-Lewis, imagine Daniel Day-Lewis as the Riddler. Like, don't give him Joker because he has to play a Joker, but like the Riddler, the way he acts, like I think it would be a fucking amazing. The way it would almost be like the.
Hey, thanks for taking my casting away from me and recasting my casting.
No, I'm just saying that would be so great. I'm gonna add on it. You know, I'm gonna be fucking quiet as fuck. Yeah, he's great.
I like how that's his excuse. He's like, I can't believe you're being a dick to me. I've been quiet this whole episode.
You know, I'm gonna get set in.
And the shake weight comes up. There it is.
It's the camera's not on me for the shake weight. You know when I stopped? When one of the videos did this, and I was like, all right, I gotta throw this away. I didn't, but I have a shake weight. I won't throw away the shake weight. Moving on.
It was 2 payments of $25.99.
Throwing away a $50.
I still owe them.
I'm still paying on it.
Yeah, the last $8.
So it looks like, and this was brought to our attention, shifting gears, Andres sent over a It looks like it's a documentary that's going to be coming out on HBO. It's called Woodstock 99. So I'm sure that all of us that ended up hearing back in 1999 that Woodstock was going to go ahead and come back. You know, a lot of us heard it from our parents friends that they went to Woodstock, you know, in the 60s, and it was amazing. It was free and fun loving and nothing but, you know, peace and love and everything. And it doesn't look like this Woodstock 99 is anything like that. Andres, can you elaborate a little bit more on that, please?
So it is just going to be a story on what happened at Woodstock 99. HBO is doing the documentary or the docuseries. They always do an incredible job on whenever they do like documentary stuff. So it's going to be super awesome. I'm kind of old, I guess. So I remember when this happened, and it came out on pay-per-view. So, and I had an illegal stream of that, or it wasn't an illegal stream back then. It's a illegal black box. So I got to watch a lot of this when it happened. And the concert was pretty cool. And the last day there was a massive fire and a riot, and that's just touching on stuff. Since then, I've read articles and stuff how there was like they had just put in a massive amount of people in there. There wasn't enough food and water for the amount of people at the concert, and there was, depending on the sources you read, there is anywhere from 4 to 8, and more likely more sexual assaults that happened. So they're going to go and all through what happened and breaking stuff down.
I know there was a death that happened.
There's 2 deaths or 4 deaths. 2 or 4.
One of which happened during Limp Bizkit's set. I remember that because they were, and this is just from like, I would love to see how the docuseries breaks this down, but
yeah. Luis is right. Somebody did die during Limp Bizkit's set.
Yeah, and so like during the song, they cut the guitar, and then cut Fred's mic because through his earpiece, they're telling him cut the song, and he's still trying to play, and he's asking the audience, like, "Can you hear me? Hey, you can see the clip on YouTube." I forgot what song. It might have been My Generation, I think. There's the song that I used to be a Limp Bizkit fan. I'm sorry, guys. I know exactly the song. I think it was My Generation. But like if you just type in Woodstock 99 Limp Bizkit, and he's like asking people in the crowd, he's like, "Can you hear me?" He's like, "Can you hear me?" He's like, My mic's not on. And so this lasted about 10 minutes. And so during that time, somebody, I guess, was on E, passed out, and paramedics were trying to get to her, but they couldn't because of the fucking crowd. And instead of, like, as an entertainer, stopping the music and saying, "Okay, everybody, hold on, let's do that," like, he's still trying to, like, the show goes on type of thing. And so he was taken to court for manslaughter. And because DJ Lethal, he was still fucking spinning his records and shit. And that's what they were saying, like, you were keeping the audience riled up. And so the charges, I believe, were dropped because his argument was that the DJ fucking turntable scratching shit was calming the audience down, and that he was doing that in benefit of the paramedics, that it wasn't. And so so they fucking took it. So charges were dropped. But that's only one death that happened at during their show. That's the end of my story. Okay. But I'd love to see the docuseries. And speaking of docuseries, I'm so sorry. Quick recommendation: Action Park docuseries on HBO. Fucking amazing. Please watch it. Treat yourself. Back to you, Esteban.
Yeah, no, HBO does fantastic docuseries. Everything that they end up doing is legit. It's fucking gold. It really is. You know, it's crazy.
Oh, McMillions. McMillions is another one.
Oh,
So good.
That one was really good.
The,
McMillions was the one
Yeah.
where it was like a big circle that they were all like illegally selling the winning Monopoly pieces for
The Monopoly McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's Monopoly shit. Yeah, and fun fact, the showrunner of that is Tom Segura, comedian. It's his cousin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Nice. Very, very cool.
Yeah, but you know, a really great docuseries. I have a lot of faith in their ability.
Put the shake weight down, Ash. You don't need it. And then last thing we're gonna go ahead and touch on real quick. It looks like American Horror Stories is back, and they announced their cast for what seems like they're doing little short stories. Am I wrong? Am I correct in saying that? Anyone? Short stories?
I believe it's 2 stories.
2 stories. Okay. Yeah. That, and I saw the casting, and dude, I'm fucking on board. The casting looks great. I mean, they are. What was the last one? The 80s one? The slasher one?
I didn't see that. The last one I saw was Freak Show, and I didn't even finish it because I tapped out at Freak Orgy.
Really?
Yeah.
He does mean tapped out at it, though. He does.
It was really weird. I'm like, how was this on regular TV? Like, it was
on cable.
It's cable.
But like basic cable though. Like it wasn't Cinemax.
Yeah, true.
They showed a lot. And I think the one after that was Hotel, and then that was the one with Lady Gaga in it, and then there was one after that, but yeah, that's pretty much the last one that I saw. But if I can do good shit, man, I'm excited.
I have not seen any of the American Horror Stories. I feel
season 1 and 2 in particular is gonna chill you to your core. It takes place in a religious area. It's like these people that have like mental illnesses, but there's like nuns and shit.
Asylum.
Thank you, asylum. Yeah, I was like, what's that place called? Yeah, it's an asylum, but like all the nuns are like the fucking wardens and shit. And oh my god, that one really made me uncomfortable. The first one, stellar storytelling.
Murder House. This is from the top of my head, so apologies
Murder
if I
House.
get that wrong. It's Murder House, Asylum, Coven.
Freak Show after that.
I think it's Hotel, then Freak Show.
No, it's Freak Show, then Hotel.
It's Freak Show, then Hotel.
Then it's Roanoke.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even. Yeah.
Then Cult.
Yes.
And then I don't know what they. Oh, it's the fuck. I forgot the name of the one in the middle, and then there was the last one was the slasher one.
Okay. Yeah, see, this is like what, season 10 or something like that that's coming up, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, see, so I need to jump on that American
Murder House is such a good, like, it's not even scary.
Murder House is it's creepy.
There are creepy elements to it, but it's just a good story. So if you're looking for something that you just need to watch after the kids go to sleep, like it's not gonna fuck you up at night. Like you're not gonna have jacked up dreams, but like the first, like it's very compelling storytelling. I loved it a lot.
Okay, cool. That's
the second one will make you uncomfortable.
Who's in the cast?
Evan Peters. I know that was like one of his breakout roles.
No, I meant.
You mean for this season?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
For this upcoming season, that's let me see. I'd have to pull it up and see. I don't know that by heart.
I thought it was the Henry Cavill and everybody else. The Henry Cavill, whatever, the one that's been going around today. It was like
the Henry Cavill one's something completely different. That's the Matthew Vaughn franchise, like spy franchise.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Spy something.
I think it's called Argyle or something like that.
You're right.
Yeah, but the cast, I don't know the cast by heart. To be quite honest, for the next season.
Macaulay Culkin comes out, Billy Lord, Sarah Paulson, Evan Peters, Lily Rabb, Finn Whitrock, a bunch of there's a ton of old recurring characters in it.
Very cool.
There you go. All right, there you go. So there's your brief cast summary for the new upcoming American Horror Story. So right before we go ahead and jump into our typical spoilers, because we're going to go ahead and jump into Loki now. Everyone seen Loki so far? 5th episode? Luis, looking at you. What?
All right.
Didn't hear you.
Number 7. Can you hear us?
And 4 episodes.
You have my old mic? Is that what that is?
Hello.
There it is.
There you go.
I don't know what happened. I saw 4 episodes today and 10 episodes into episode 5. So I'm pretty much caught up.
But not really.
But not really.
Not like 100% caught up.
You're like 75% caught up.
There it is.
There it is. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into our Loki spoilers. So which means we're coming close to the end of the show. Carmen, hit us with that spoiler warning alarm.
You're good. I don't even remember the sounds I would make because every time it was different. So I'm not even gonna attempt
The
that.
one I always remember was when you say "we." We.
Whee! Great.
All right. So here it is. Your spoiler Loki episode 5 discussion. If you guys have not seen up until this point, pause, go watch it, then come back. We want to hear your guys' comments and theories and stuff like that in our little thread and in our feed. So overall census so far for the very first season of Loki, we are on the 5th episode. This is the second to the last episode. We only get 6 episodes of Loki. And then from that, we dive into Black Widow. And then from Black Widow, we end up getting our What If series. So overall grade thus far for Loki season, the very first season of Loki. Carmen, what do you give so far?
Oh, I would give it a 10, but that's just because Loki's one of my favorite characters, and I really love this show. So, yeah.
Right on. Very cool. Andres, what would you rate Loki?
I would as well give it a 10. I love Tom Hiddleston, and I don't know her name off the top of my head, but the actress who plays Sylvie. And this very latest episode, I love the alligator Loki.
Me too. He's the best. He stole the show.
I think her name's Sophia or Sophie
Di Martino.
something. Yes, there it is.
Thank you.
Ash?
Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10.
You okay?
No, it's this is actually the episode that like made me cry. Every Loki had a weakness. Everybody, it's almost like the whole thing should be called "We Are Loki." In that,
I think by naming the show Loki, it encompasses that.
yes, but you're absolutely right, Andreas. And then also all the different fonts. Fucking A, even when I go with it, all the
I'm
different
agreeing
fonts.
with you.
I was thinking about that with the different fonts with this last episode that I saw.
Even with the different
But it's
fonts,
like,
it felt
oh, I see. Like the first episode, you don't realize why they do it, and then as the thing progresses, they're variants.
it was in the like episode 4 was like, of course, the only person he would fall for is himself, but there was like a. It's gonna be mad spoiler. Like, uh, everybody I've ever loved, I fucked over, and it was my brother, my father, and he didn't even say his mother, even though that was the one that was the that fucking shook him to even start on this path of being a good Loki. Um, it was, I don't know, man. It was just a great Loki. For me, is almost like another Venom, where you're like, there's such a badass character, you want them to be good, and the moments in Dark World, the moments in like the moments where Loki was good and it was a good guy, like it was such a fucking cool thing. And then Loki would go back to being Loki. But the payoff was like, I now know why I did that, and I understand it. Like it was just the payoff was amazing. Um, fuck, it is a 10 out of 10. I will say, I know it didn't land on me, but I will say at the very end, it felt a little bit Yellow Brick Roadish, but at the same time, each Loki was what we have seen. They even made the one in the most ridiculous costume, which we know from the Marvel comic books when he was made as Loki, the fucking almost the most powerful one, creating the fucking Asgard.
Yeah.
To fucking eat and keep him distracted, even though that was the one that was like, I ain't gonna risk my life for any of you motherfuckers. So when he was fucking going for it, I was like, huh? It was like Han Solo, like, I know I'm gonna die, fucking let's do this. I don't know. It was just amazing. I'll go with somebody else before I fucking ramble. Andreas.
Andres went already.
Luis.
Andreas. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
I want to hear a deeper explanation to your answer. I feel like I have an unpopular opinion here, so before I give my rating, I'm going to give you my explanation.
Rick,
There's always one. I'm earlier in the episode, I mentioned to you guys about anime, how the manga is it's a linear story, and if it's popular, it gets picked up as an anime, and the anime is a direct interpretation of the manga. If it didn't happen in the manga, it's not going to happen in the anime. They go hand in hand. The exception to this is when they make a movie that goes to when something hits theaters. That is not in the manga. That is 100% the studio that's making the anime, like the show. They're the ones that create it, so it's an original story. And so notoriously, any anime films that hit cinema, they all exist in this little pocket where they're not exactly canon, and everyone knows that. But whatever happens in the beginning of the movie, it beginning, middle, end, it concludes with no impact to the rest of the story.
So it's a one shot.
It's a one shot. There's no impact to it, and then when the season continues, they never fucking mention the movies. Like, so you can watch them for your own, like if you like a specific character, and this movie they highlight that character, then you're happy because it's like, oh yeah, I get to see more of this character, and they're typically pretty true to their characters. Now, that being explained, as a guilty pleasure, I still watch these movies, even though that I know that has no weight to the overall story. I feel that that's what Loki is, or at least that's my version. When I'm watching it, I don't feel there's a lot of weight to it. And as a direct result, I don't feel the stakes are very high. Even when the stakes are high, I don't feel that they're high. And that's a flaw on me, not on the storytelling. The storytelling is good. It's just because of this weird timeline thing that's happening. Like, it's very easy to go to the end. Like, and I think that's where I'm just disconnecting. Is that it's so easy to get to the end and be like, none of that happened, or there was no influx in the timeline because this was a doomsday thing, and so now here we are. Now you have a choice to be good, or whatever ends up happening at the last episode. So as that being said, despite the good storytelling and everything, I would give it a 7 out of 10 personally.
You monster.
I know
I'm
I
just
suck.
kidding.
I know I suck, and I can quit the podcast if you all want me to.
No.
I was gonna
No,
say it's funny that they purposely stated before the show started is that it's gonna have major ramifications for the Marvel universe going forward, which is totally refute your whole fucking point that you just made right now. But hey, I guess you didn't hear that part.
I didn't. I'm watching the show, not based off of an interview. Like I am sick of listening to these interviews and be like, oh, we're gonna have this and this thing's gonna be crazy. Like, no. Like until I see it, then I just I mean,
Are
I
you
can't.
basing? I'm sorry. Are you basing your opinion because of? And I know you mentioned this probably, but because of how the timelines can be wiped, and so you think that carries no weight in the story, and so then it cannot relate to the outside universe. I'm trying to understand.
No, I feel that because we know that this Loki is a variant already, our Loki from our Marvel timeline, he died. Thanos killed him, and so granted they can bring him into the main main movies, but because that's already established, I don't have a lot of weight in what's going to happen because it'll happen contained into this universe. Now, the thing that Andres said, as far as they're saying that there's going to be ramifications in the future. Yeah. I mean, episode 6, that can change my whole outlook on the whole thing. Like if I look back on it, I'm like, oh my God, this is great. I mean, just right now, I don't feel that change. It's kind of like Black Widow.
Yeah.
Like I see that bitch jumping off of a plane. She's going towards her death. And
take it back. Take it back. Do not
no.
I
say bitch as an endearing term. Like this bitch is jumping out of a plane and she's going towards her demise, but I know she doesn't die because
The one thing I know about women is they love being called bitches.
That's right. But she's like heading towards her demise, but I know she doesn't die because she's an endgame. So I already automatically I have this like, oh, she'll be fine. Like despite how crazy the stakes get. Does that make sense? I already know she's gonna be there. It's like with any prequel, outside of like being excited of what that character is gonna do, I don't have too much weight of the stakes. So I can't get myself invested in, oh my God, what's gonna happen here? Like I know it works out at some point because I see her in Endgame, and so that's the comparison I'm making here. It's because this is a variant Loki that went this other path, and so I'm curious to see how they bring that together. But I can't say that I'm just like it's like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. But I also felt the same thing about WandaVision the first 2 episodes when everyone was all about it, and it took me like episode 4 before I'm like, I get it now. And then I was looking back and I'm like, oh my God, those first 2 episodes were great. So it's very possible this happens here. Just as of right now, it hasn't hooked me in that same way that it's hooked everybody here.
Thank you, Stephen Dorff. We appreciate your opinion.
Shitting on everybody and everything.
No, I think if you finish episode 5, there's a conversation in there that I think will kind of. I see what you're saying. What you're saying as far as this is a variant Loki and blah blah this and that. There's a conversation that the 2012 variant Loki has with classic Loki, Richard Brand's Loki. Okay, there's a conversation that they both have. Listening to that conversation, it makes sense. That how big this universe is, even though they're variants of Loki, it shows that how their timelines, how certain Loki's timelines are mimicking one another up until a certain point. Okay. And I think that might catch your eye a little bit, because that classic Loki does reference the events in Infinity War. Okay, so it might
cool.
kind of pull everything together. Obviously, you know, the kid Loki and the one that they call the boastful Loki. Obviously, they have their own different storylines, you know, throughout their own storylines or their own Nexus events and stuff like that. So I have a feeling that the end of episode 5 might kind of sway you in a different direction. Hopefully episode 6 just, you know, blows you out of the water and just kind of, you know, changes your opinion. But I kind of see what you're saying. When you compare it to Black Widow, you know that she'll be fine throughout the entire movie because, you know, that's not the end of her story, you know? So I understand that. I understand what you're saying. You know, when I first saw that they announced the Black Widow movie, I was extremely excited for it. But then when they said, "Oh, this is what takes place between, was it Winter Soldier and Civil War?" I think that's what ends up taking. That's the little time frame that it takes place is then. You know, it's just kind of like, okay, well, we know how her story goes or how her story ends. It could very well be also that this movie's been delayed for so long that it just took the hype away from it. You know what I mean? That could also be the case, you know. I'm stoked for it. I want to see it. I'll probably end up, you know, watching it on Disney Plus, you know, to be quite honest. You know, not that I don't want to go to the theaters, but in my situation, it'd be cheaper to pay the $30 than to, you know,
get a sitter and
yeah, exactly.
yeah. I get you.
So in my instance, paying the $30 to see it and then keeping it for the 90 days before it goes away and watching it multiple times, it's more beneficial for me that way, to do it that way. But yeah, I think that the way this, I won't be surprised that the very end of Loki, the following day or the following week, we get the Spider-Man No Way From Home trailer. You know, I can see that happen. I could also see that they end up, you know, showing, you know, scenes with Garfield and Maguire in there along with Holland, you know, all three of them. So this episode for Loki was probably, it was the episode that I didn't know that I wanted, just because it tied all those Lokis together, especially the alligator Loki. The alligator Loki was the shit. It stole the show. It really did, you know. There's a lot of Easter eggs. I don't know if you guys noticed the Easter eggs in that episode.
Thanos helicopter.
There was a Thanos helicopter. There was a statue of the Living Tribunal.
The Avengers Tower.
The Avengers Tower, which actually didn't say Stark. It said something else. It said something else on there. Did you guys catch the
Genko?
Yes. Did you guys also notice Yellow Jacket's helmet was in there?
Yeah.
And what was
Frog Thor?
Frog Thor. I saw
Frog?
that.
Yeah, that was pretty
And there's
cool.
Ronan's the ship he's in.
Oh yeah. Ronin's ship from Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes.
Yeah,
that was also there. So Ash, what were you gonna say?
Just the fact that the entire thing is dealing with a timeline. Everybody's up for grabs.
Right.
That's all. So there is stakes. So I don't know what you're watching, Luis, but you got to put the fucking games down and watch the fucking show, because like that, we could get back everything. Oh, I don't want to watch Scarlet Witch or I don't want to watch fucking, not Red Sonja. Help me help you. Fucking
Black Widow?
Because really, you don't know. The whole thing is a timeline. So really,
it's no, and I get it, but that's why I was making the comparison with an anime film earlier. Is that an anime film? They're like, oh my god, this is so crazy, it's gonna change everything, and then it somehow always ends with it didn't change anything. And so I've seen a formula like that before, and so I've kind of just not that I have any. I always just go in thinking like, oh, I've recognized this formula, and my brain, I think, just default says, oh, it's gonna be okay at the end. The last anime film that I saw ended in a way that it would have changed the timeline, for lack of better words, for the like it would have been a big impact for the rest of the anime. And I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. And that startled me because I'm like, this is not true to the formula. And then sure enough, the last minute of the fucking movie, they're like, and everything's fine. It's like, God damn it. Like I believed it for a second. And so and that's all. That's that the only reason I made that comparison is that in watching this show, it feels very reminiscent to that. So far, sure. I don't feel the weight because this, he himself is a variant, and even though they are working with the timeline and it could fuck up, you're absolutely right. The things could be catastrophic, but will they be? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah.
And so I'm still in. I'm not saying it's a piece of shit. I'm still saying 7 out of 10 is still good. Like let's not avoid that. You know, I still think it's good. I don't feel the weight. I don't feel that sense of like, oh my God, nobody in the room talk. I need to watch this thing. Like the way that I felt with Falcon Winter Soldier. Like,
okay,
I was just fucking in. And this one, it's like I'm still watching it, but it's like if I get asked a question by the girlfriend, I turn and I respond. I don't pause it to answer. Like I just answer a quick question and then go back to my show. Like, it's just that. So it's still good. I'm still enjoying it. It's just not.
Yeah, no, for sure. I completely understand. It's like your Loki is no longer. So it's like whatever happens to this variant, whatever happens, you know.
That's a little harsher, but yes, we're on the same path. Well, I don't give a fuck about this. No. Like it's still this, it's still Tom Hiddleston. But yes, yeah, that's my only point.
Okay, that's cool, man. I don't have that much hate towards you like Ash has towards you. Okay, so it's okay. You know, it's a free country, bro. Watch whatever you want.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, anybody else have any comments in regards to Loki episode 5? No. Ash, you look like you want to say something.
No, it was really good, fucking really amazing. And then I like I said, I like the old school Loki. I like that. Again, spoiler. I like that they all like bow down to the kid, and they all have one this little juice hit bottle, like just all the little throwaways that make all fucking work. It's like everything could be a throwaway, but if you put everything together, it fucking works. Like it's gonna be. I'm in. I'm all the way in. It's fucking
all the way in.
Yeah.
Both feet in.
Knee deep.
Knee deep. Wow. Knee deep. All right.
Rating.
All right.
Knee deep. Rating.
Well, on that note, knee deep, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for episode 40 of Comix. Again, thank you everybody who's been tuning in since day one. Appreciate it. So we would also big ask for you guys to go ahead and share us to your friends, like us, subscribe, and make sure you drop that comment. Okay. If you guys want to go ahead and send us an email at thepodcastcomics@gmail.com. But yeah, go ahead and drop any comment that you guys want to go ahead and do. Give us some recommendations too on our playlist that Andres curates every Wednesday. We'll go ahead and we'll take your suggestions. But yeah, so thank you once again for tuning in. This is Comix.
We are everywhere.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.